Hey, bestie! You're wrong. I think it's time for another adult pre-K lesson. What do you think? All right, turn your listening ears on. Zoop, catch a bubble in your mouth. Good job. Okay, here's the thing. Having a preference is something like, I'm looking for a partner who likes kayaking, or wakes up early in the morning, or loves pizza. But when your preferences exclude an entire group of marginalized people, that's problematic. Okay, that's not nice. That's not a preference. If you lump all fat people in one group together as though they are not very different individuals, that's fatphobic. Just like lumping all black people in one group and saying, I don't like black people is racist. And lumping all disabled people in one group and saying, I don't think people in wheelchairs are hot is ableist. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I do understand what you're saying, but let me tell you why you're wrong. And don't worry, I'll be less condescending about it. To start out, being fat does not make you part of a marginalized group like black people or disabled people, so that's one huge problem with your argument. And second, the reason why all fat people can be lumped together and people can say that they don't want to date them is because the vast majority of overweight people have a non-genetic lifestyle trait in common, which is the overconsumption of food. You said yourself that it's fine to date someone based on lifestyle preferences such as liking kayaking, so why is it a problem to say I don't want to date someone with unhealthy eating habits?
Okay, no, let's have this conversation because, as a fat femme who has been out most of my life, I'm turning 30 in January, and I came out around 16, 17, tried to come out whenever I was 12 because I knew, and my mom freaked the out. So, went back into the closet for a few more years. But, I'm just gonna say this, and it's probably gonna piss off a few people, but a lot of queer people mirror how cis men treat fat femmes in the queer community. And y'all don't want to work through your fat phobia. And matter of fact, y'all will deny it and treat us like shit. Because I've had it happen multiple times. Multiple motherfucking times. And I know I'm not the only one. Okay, so I have a TikTok going viral about the fact that there's a shit ton of fat phobia within the queer community. As if a fat femme like me wouldn't know what it's like to experience that. But there's a handful of comments of people going, it's just a preference, stop playing a victim. I'm not playing a victim whenever I'm quite literally calling out the fact that you are fat phobic. No one's playing a victim whenever you're calling out racism. No one's playing a victim whenever you're calling out homophobia. No one's playing a victim whenever they're calling out transphobia. And for the people who keep saying it's a preference, I need you to put your critical thinking caps on. Where did those preferences come from? I'll give you a minute. Have you Google? It's free. Takes 3 clicks. I'm gonna go ahead and say systemic oppression and the beauty standards, Western beauty standards, specifically being rooted in white, skinny, cis, able bodies. Maybe let's unpack that instead of just being it's just a preference. It makes me uncomfortable for you to call me out on my fat phobia. Because I might be a bad person. You know what makes you a bad person? Denying that it fucking exists and not willing to put in the fucking work to unpack your bullshit. I said what I said.
So absolutely nothing in these TikToks makes me more angry than when they continuously compare themselves to actual marginalized groups. Other groups like black people and gay people and trans people do not choose to be how they are. You, my dear, chose to be fat. Calling people fatphobic is not the same as calling someone out for racism or homophobia, and it's gross that you can't see that. And because you asked so nicely where people's preferences for dating skinny people comes from, I'll tell you that it comes from the fact that people tend to want to date healthy people. And having excessive body fat is unhealthy. This preference is consistent among all people, and that includes queer people, which is why these so-called fatphobic preferences still exist regardless of sexuality. It's really very simple. And yes, I did get that with 3 clicks on Google.
I might have a problematic opinion here, but what the is not to love about fat women? I'm not gonna bash on thin people because I just don't have. But why? Like, what is not? Like, our bodies are soft. Like, they are literally beautiful. Like, the way our bodies are shaped, like, incredible. I don't understand. Like, I really don't understand. I don't understand why people are so, like, opposed to dating a fat person. Like,
Preach.
I get that the media and all this shit tells you, like, oh, thin women are the way to go. But
they
it's
weren't
just
creating
so...
statues of thin women back in the day.
No, they sure fucking were. You know, and so I don't understand. And Terry says this all the time. And, like, this might be problematic, too. But sometimes we'll be watching The Bachelor or something. And he just gets mad. And he's, can we turn this off? And I'm like, why? He's like, it's just skinny, white women. Like, what is there? Like, what is that? Like, what are you doing with that? Like, what is it? And I'm like, honestly, I don't know.
At the beginning of the video, she talks about how fat bodies are beautiful, and she doesn't understand why people don't like them. But the problem isn't that fat bodies can't be beautiful. The fact of the matter is that they just aren't healthy. You can believe you're fat and beautiful, but that doesn't mean you're healthy, and for some people, that's important in a partner. Second, people used to make sculptures of fat people because it was difficult, and therefore desirable, to be fat. In 2021, it is very easy to be fat in most of the world and very difficult to be skinny, which is why we are no longer making statues of fat people.
Guys who are super athletic gym buffs, I don't want to swipe on them because if all they care about is working out, and this is like me being very judgy, are you gonna be down to eat a cheeseburger at 2 a.m.?
I will say that, like, I did date a guy who was really into health, and eating together was weird because, you know, he'd be like, I'm in training.
He was eating greens.
It was always seafood, it was always a green, and it was always rice. It's like, this has no flavor, it doesn't even have butter in it. Yeah. This is horrible. And it would be like greens with no vinaigrette even. You're like, I'm choking on this. You can't just eat a dry arugula.
You want the guy who's gonna, like, after you hook up, like, is down to go eat a snack in the kitchen while you're naked.
If he's not making you grilled cheese, who is he?
He's not worth it.
He's not invited back to this bed.
No.
I'll tell you that much.
He can walk right outside.
Exactly.
Hopefully it's in the winter so he freezes.
Bye, bitch.
Wow, okay. So these women can acknowledge that not wanting to date someone that is too into health, by their own standards, is a valid dating preference based on lifestyle, but not wanting to date someone that is consistently snacking at 2 a.m. or doesn't exercise regularly is somehow fatphobic. The blatant hypocrisy is blinding.
As the strong, independent woman that I am, who knows my worth, knows how I should and deserve to be treated, and how I don't take shit from anyone, this results in me having a very hard time dating. Mind you, I love standing up for myself. I love setting boundaries because half the time people don't like them. A part of me enjoys that because it means I'm doing something right. But it's still frustrating nonetheless. So here's the story. Matched with this guy on Bumble, talked for about 2 weeks, week and a half maybe. On Wednesday, we made plans to hang out for Sunday, which was yesterday. We were talking the night before. We confirmed we'd hang out in the evening. We talked the morning of. Let's preface that he wanted to hang out with me. I was fine with that. But because he asked me to hang out, that means that he needs to initiate the day of type of thing, you know? And he didn't. It was like 2:30 and he still did not say anything about hanging out that evening. Now, with that said, that means that I'm not going to sit around all day waiting for a guy to say, hey. So I did other shit. I was sanding some of my jewelry that I'm making right now, and I was watching some TV with my mom. So when he asked me, what's up? I said, oh, I'm sanding some jewelry and watching TV. He's like, oh, cool. I was like, how about you? He's like, not much. I'm like, okay, cool. So then it's like 7, 8-ish, and I send him this lovely message of me setting my boundaries, not being rude at all, but letting him know that the way he was treating the whole situation I did not approve of. So I said, I thought we were hanging out today, LOL. So he didn't answer that, so I said this. I'm not one to wait around all day for a guy, so I'm no longer available to hang out tonight as you never clarified or confirmed anything yet. And now here's where I state my boundary. If there's a next time, I'm going to need things to be a little bit more concrete. Example, a guaranteed time, not just a general time frame because my time is valuable and I don't appreciate it being wasted. Because essentially he did waste my time. I'm not mad, just stating my boundaries, so if you can respect them, then cool, and if not, then oh well for you. So I sent that last night. I wake up, he read it, but didn't say anything. So I type, nothing? Not even 2 minutes later, he deletes me. Aww. Poor little boy child who doesn't know how to handle an independent woman who knows her worth. And because I'm a petty motherfucker, I messaged this on Bumble. I don't get it. You wanted to hang out with me. We chatted well and we had plans. We didn't end up hanging out because you didn't initiate the plans that we had had. So I set a boundary because I know my worth, and then you blocked me? Make it make sense. Make it make sense, buddy. But seriously, make it make sense. And he has since unmatched me. Ladies, know your worth. Stand up for yourself. It's okay. I promise.
I have so many problems with this video. First of all, nothing about this story is specific to dating as a fat person. Thin people get ghosted and disrespected all the time. It's not a unique thing to one group. Second, this was not a showing of someone that is strong and confident, but a display of someone who seems sad and desperate. The main thing that got you mad at this dude was him not initiating plans, but both of you never agreed to that, so why would you be upset or say he's wasting your time? Next, after you texted him stating your boundaries and he didn't respond, you should have just left it at that and moved on. Instead, you text him multiple times the next day, on multiple platforms I might add, to try and get him to respond after what seems like an overreaction on your part. Those are not the actions of a confident woman who knows her worth. People with high self-esteem also don't brag about someone blocking you because they didn't initiate a date properly. And having boundaries isn't about making people angry, so I don't know why you would be bragging about getting blocked after setting boundaries. Overall, this seems like a sad display of insecurity masquerading itself as confidence, and if you want to have a better time dating, maybe try having better communication.